vikas? Okay. Vikas is a registered trust with a dream to build and strengthen an ecosystem for seniors that empowers them to lead a productive and meaningful life. We are a community of senior citizens enabled through an online platform with a focus on a wide range of services, starting with legal, health, and wellness. An engagement that includes volunteering and jobs. You must have seen on the screen that there were a couple of offers that we have. One is from Narayana Health, which is only for Bangalore members. They are giving us a very large discount. So a full preventive healthcare checkup for 3,200 rupees. Plus, we're also offering volunteering, online volunteering, and also jobs. So if any of you are interested, at the end of the session, we'll be putting in a feedback form and you can click on it and let us know, or you can WhatsApp us directly. Okay. So today's webinar is on good health through diet and exercise. Once Dr. Chitalia finishes speaking, we will take questions. Meanwhile, you can put your questions in the chat box. Okay. Please mute yourselves, everybody. And let's welcome Dr. Chitalia, who is practicing Ayurvedacharya for the past 34 years. He is an expert in Panchakarma and also consults on weight loss, diabetes, blood pressure, thyroid, and PCOD. She has written several books, mostly on Ayurveda, but also on parenting. She has been the host for many TV and radio shows. She has also conducted lectures and workshops on health through Ayurveda for many associations. Dr. Chitalia is also an advisor on a counseling group called Supraja. Over to you, Doctor.
So good evening, everybody. And we go directly to the topic. We've been a little late starting in because even I couldn't log in. So starting with our healthcare for people above 60. Okay. Now, I recently conducted a webinar for people who are turning 30 on how to take care of the health. And I think that is the time between 30 and 40 is the time one needs to start focusing on what our health should be. Now, since I'm talking to most of the people who might be grandparents also over here, I would like to advise you that if it's possible to even induct this love for exercise and a good diet onto the next generation as your grandchildren too. It's never late to start exercise, because I've been seeing now that even younger generation, just young mothers, have to be given ecosprin so that the blood from the placenta goes to the baby. Can you imagine? Ecosprin is a medicine which is usually given 55 plus, but it is being given to women who are pregnant so that their babies get good proper blood supply. That means somewhere down the line, we have become more sedentary. Now, if a person wants to start at 60, then there are two ways out. First thing is that if you have never done any exercise, I always advise to take baby steps. Don't start off all together, a big Tabata workout or a big Zumba dance workout. It's not possible to do it at one go. But the pause button is in our hand. So when the person is doing the Tabata or the Zumba and things like that, we can easily pause when we feel tired, or just stop and let that person continue doing, so that even we get to see that video, right? So I am personally usually against only walking. Only walking just gives you the activity, that you remain active throughout the day. So if you are walking inside the house, doing your housework, lifting things, folding things, keeping things in place, then you don't really need to walk. You can do a good exercise program from your house itself. So for adults, there are many programs that are conducted by Jane Fonda. Many of you can write it down. Jane Fonda exercises for the elderly and also a low impact workout. So now let's look at what the elderly are looking at. See, if you look after 60, if a person is looking at reversal of his or her diabetes and has been suffering for 30 or plus years from diabetes, then it's very difficult at that stage to reverse that disease. But what you can do is avoid neurosis, diabetic neuritis. You can avoid losing your balance and falling so that you don't get injured. You can take good care of your eyes so that you don't have any eye problems due to diabetes. You can take care of your joints so that you don't have joint pains and related tightness and stiffness, because if you have had diabetes and hypertension for a longer period. These are the things we have to manage to stay jaise the, means you don't want to worsen that problem. So the first thing that Jane Fonda tells us in her exercise program is that after 60, we should be very careful in keeping our balance. So just holding a chair and lifting your leg to one side tells you exactly how lopsided you are, how much your center of gravity has shifted. All of you can try it. Just hold on to the back of a chair and lift one leg as high or even low as much as you can, and you find that you start losing balance. Another very important thing that happens as we age is we start becoming flat-footed. The reason being that we don't walk correctly and we put on a lot of weight. So the first focus should be losing weight. When I talk about losing weight, most of the people above 60 tell us that you can't walk so much. What to do? So like I told you in the beginning, walking alone is not the way out to lose weight. There are many programs, like I told you, Jane Fonda. There is another channel by Caroline Jordan. Caroline Jordan's channel, the name is Hurt Foot Workout. Hurt Foot Workout is the name of her channel because she believes that many a times our feet get hurt and we can't walk or run. So all her exercises are based on sitting on a chair or sleeping, lying down, which we can easily do and lose weight. But I've seen the most important thing is that, yes, Caroline Jordan, we should not lose our perseverance. The most important thing I find in the elderly is finding the excuses. When I say you need to lose weight, the first question, but doctor, we can't walk. Like I said, forget about walking. Do these programs. Easily you can lose weight. The third channel is by Charlie O'Connell, and his channel is called as Glucose Zone. Now forget the name, that Glucose Zone. You might not be a diabetic, but you may be obese. So obesity and diabetes are brethren. So you can use his exercises to lose weight. Charlie O'Connell's channel is called as Glucose Zone. In Glucose Zone, all these exercises are interval-based exercises. Means after a certain interval, you change the exercise. It's very important to change the exercise because the body gets used to it. So Ayurveda also says that if you're doing exercise, do exercise differently. Every day you change your exercise. So the body gets shocked. Oh, yesterday she did this, today she's doing this, today she's doing that, Secondly, now many times elderly people are told don't use weights when you're elderly. Okay, no problem. Don't use weights. Means when you were younger, say when you were 30, 35, you were doing squats with using 34 kilos, and doing squats. As you grow older, use 10 kilos. But don't stop doing the squats or don't take the weights. Do the squats without weight. Do squats, do lunges, do exercises for the calves, for the tibia, leg extension, leg curl, chest expansion, fly, dumbbell fly without dumbbells. But those exercises are very important. Those exercises help all our joints to remain supple because our joints are connected by ligaments to the muscles. So those ligaments and muscles also have to remain supple so that your joint doesn't pain. It's not just the joint that pain. I mean, the joint that has the something gone wrong with it. Okay. It is the muscles and the cartilage is also going stiff, because of which the pain is in the joint, but the reason is not in the joint. So you need to exercise some muscles and cartilages in order to keep the joints very supple. Now, all this, I'm telling that you have to do all the exercises, but along with that, like Anita introduced in the beginning, a good diet is very important. See, in our diet, the most important thing nowadays, the doctors are telling you to check your vitamin D3 and your vitamin B12, right? Why are they telling all this? There are some reasons. Before I go to vitamin B12 and D3, I would like to tell one more factor is about our salt. There are many videos on YouTube that are glorifying the use of sendhav or rock salt. I myself am an Ayurvedacharya. I know that sendhav is the best salt that is available, no doubt. But the salt that we consume with iodine is very important today, because the water that was the source of iodine, the river waters that were the source of iodine, no longer contain the iodine that is required for us. Hence, we must eat salt that is iodized. If you have sendhav iodized, you can use it. WHO has given this directive that our salt has to be iodized in order to get rid of our thyroid problems. The thyroid gland is the main gland in our body, but it works under the governance of the anterior pituitary. The anterior pituitary gland is situated somewhere over here. So the thyroid gland works under the anterior pituitary. That means we have to keep our anterior pituitary active. Now, how does one go about keeping the anterior pituitary active? By exercising. How? When you exercise, there are two small glands on top of your kidneys. They are called as the adrenal glands. These adrenal glands secrete adrenaline, which stimulates the anterior pituitary, which then sends in the anterior pituitary, which stimulates the thyroid. So just taking thyroxine or medicines that will stimulate the thyroid is not enough. We need to stimulate it from within. So the first thing is a good iodized salt. The second thing is good sources of vitamin B12 and D3. Unfortunately for us, again, many people have been advertising or saying that, become vegetarians, non-vegetarianism is wrong. According to Ayurveda, if you do not eat non-vegetarian food, you are in big trouble. Okay, so because Ayurveda is not a religious text, it is a text about health. So it tells you that you must eat non-vegetarian food in order to remain stable. And then now we realize, because non-vegetarian is pure protein. Vegetarian food is not pure protein. Means you have to eat dal and chawal together to get the full advantage of that protein. In that, what mistake we make is we eat less dal and more rice. We need to reduce the rice and increase the dal. Dal and vegetable has to be 4 times the amount of rice. If you take 1 chapati, you have to take 4 times rice, 4 times dal and vegetables. If you take a second chapati, again you have to take 4 times dal and vegetable to complete that protein. Whereas if you're eating a piece of chicken or fish or whatever, it in itself is a complete protein. So you get my point? The proteins and the B12 is easily got from non-vegetarian food and not from vegetarian food. Now, if you choose to be a vegetarian, there are people who want to be a vegetarian, no problem. Then you must take a B12 supplement. Now, here comes a very important cliche that many of my patients tell me about how many times you have to take those tablets, why you have to take medicine. Doctor, tell us something without medicine. I said, okay, you want B12 without medicine? Start eating non-veg. Then they realize, no, I want to be a vegetarian. You want to be a vegetarian? Then you must take a B12 pill every day, because your body needs B12. Your muscles need B12 to function. Along with that, after 60, an iron pill must be added to your regular routine. Now, if you get constipation by taking iron, take 1 iron pill per day instead of taking 2. But you must take at least 1 iron pill per day in order to remain healthy. D3, 60,000 once in a month, or else if you want, you can take 2,000 every day. That depends on your choice. You can take a 60,000 pill once in a month also. Okay. So these supplements are not pills. They're not medicine. They are food in the form of medicine. So because our food is lacking in B12 and because many people are choosing now to be vegetarians, it's all right. But non-vegetarian, according to Ayurveda, it says hitahari bha, mitahari bha, and ashakahari bha. Ashakahari means become a non-vegetarian, then you will live a long life. Okay. Along with that, changing of exercises. So you realize that if you do all exercise, but you're not taking a nutritious diet, then the exercise can become detrimental and become something that is harming. It could cause injuries to the body. We see that many people, many sports people also, once they retire, they have heart trouble. They have many other problems in their life because they are not taking a proper diet. Hence, it's very important for us to keep our diet right. And, instead of overeating, it's better to eat 2 to 3 times in a day so that your food gets digested and stomach doesn't bulge after a good meal. It's better to enjoy the meal, a small meal at one time. About fruits, I usually advise that fruits can actually be eaten anytime. It's not necessary. In fact, it's better not to eat fruits right in the morning on an empty stomach because it causes a sugar surge in our body. In the olden days, it was okay. We were able to digest this extra sugar. Like I'll give you an example. If you have indigestion, for example, you've overeaten and you have indigestion, what do? The next day, you don't eat anything till you feel hungry. You'll just have a glass of buttermilk, or you'll do langan in general. Let me, give the stomach a rest. By the third day, I should be fine. The same thing is happening in our body about sugar. We are not able to digest sugars. Hence, we should keep the sugar content, even whether it's natural sugar or added sugars, we must keep our sugar contents very low. If we keep it low, then we will not suffer from obesity. We can, even though we are suffering from diabetes, we'll be able to keep that diabetes at bay. Now, diabetes, blood pressure is one group of diseases, and the other group is the joint pains. After 60, many people tell me that, doctor, till now I never felt my joints, but now when I wake up, I really feel my joints. This happens to people who are not used to exercise. Okay. So now we have to start exercise. Like I said, take baby steps. Means even the yoga asanas, suppose this is your foot, then first you bend the fingers, then you bend your ankle joint, then you turn your ankle joint around, then you hold your knee and fold it. You can do start with such simple asanas, but do them every day. Then also it is quite enough for you, that exercise. And remain active all round the day. That will help you to digest the food well. Hence, they will know, what we call always aam. Even in Marathi, when we talk, we say aang khub aamlai. Means body is very stiff from the morning. That is because our digestion cannot take in this amount of food that we are eating. We have to, like, you go to a shop, you pay 10 rupees, you will get one stick of ice cream. You pay 20 rupees, you'll get a thicker stick. You pay 30 rupees, you might get a chocolate also inside, right? You pay 50 rupees, you'll get a cornet of cone, right? The same thing it is. You take less food, you'll be able to digest it well. If you take more food, it will not be able to digest it. Hence, to increase our digestion capacity, it is very important that we exercise. Now, most of the people after say 58, 59 are retired. So they have time to do exercise. So the excuse that I don't have time is no longer excusable, right? But you could be still working also. So it's okay. You don't get up in the morning. You do exercise in the afternoon, in the evening, whenever it's possible. But try to do at least 1 hour. 45 minutes is now not enough for us. We need 1 hour of exercise. So 1 hour of yoga, proper yoga, if you do nicely, counting slowly, 15 times you go clockwise, anti-clockwise. Then even there is you add some exercises which are dynamic, which are fast yoga. Like the fast yoga, fast Trikonasana you do, or you do Halasan and Paschimottanasana fast, one after the other. But if you're heavy, then first see that your weight reduces and then do the dynamic asanas. Or there is something called as a hip walk. You walk with your hips with your hands ahead, and you just shake your hips and walk right from one end of the room till the other end, and then walk back in reverse on your hips, right? Because you're sitting on the floor. That is also a good way of making yourself very active. Then the exercises which I told you, just shaking your fingers, turning your ankles and things like that. These are also very preliminary exercises, making the body very supple and ready to do the big asanas, right? Like the Chakki Sanchalana, you're doing the Chakki asana, right? So in that, what is that? The preparatory for Paschimottanasana. Later on, you're going to bend down completely and touch your head to your knees. But in the beginning, your body is stiff. It's not possible. So always remember, yoga is a progressive form of exercise. Today, if you could bend 3/4, tomorrow you should be able to bend a little bit more every week, karte, then holding a rope or something. You must stretch yourself to your maximum capacity. That is what yoga tells us. Again, at this age, many of the women, usually they complain to me that, doctor, all these years we were working, we didn't have time to meet our friends. So now we have friends get together and things like that. And then going out and eating often. So actually, at this age, eating outside does not help at all. And I've seen after COVID, especially, the quality of food that is served outside is not as good as it used to be. Because I'm having a lot of patients suffering from IBS and abdominal disorders after COVID rather than before COVID. Many of them are post, they themselves have suffered from COVID, and hence also their digestion has gone down because of all the medicines that they have taken during that time and not detoxified their body. Okay. So it happens like that outside food is causing more problems now than it was causing before. So we have to be very careful. So in that, see, if you read our scriptures also, this is the time when you have to be now satisfied, do your hobbies, read, or do something that will help you to be happy with yourself rather than just meeting friends. So if you can keep that to the very minimum, that say you meet each other once in 3 months or something like that, then that will help you to gain health. Because our main aim today is to keep healthy till 80. If you've already been a diabetic or having blood pressure for 30 years, then another 20 years, you'll be 50 years, you'll be diabetic. And diabetes is not just sugar in the body. It's like white ants carving your body and, making it like a jali, completely sort of spoiling your whole body. The same way, if you're going to have joint pains and then you have this love that I'm going to go traveling, how can you travel when you have joint pains? How can you walk when you have joint pains? Then you just end up, going on a wheelchair or things, but you don't enjoy it so much, right? Hence, it's very important that you start today. If you are, it's possible, not possible to walk outside, you can do another program that you can see is the American Heart Association 3-mile walk. American Heart Association channel, it is all about walking. 1 mile, 2 miles, 3 miles. You can start with 1 mile, or you can do the 3-mile program and stop at 1 mile. Then next week you can go on to 2 miles and then increase it to 3 miles. It's a 4-mile program also by the American Heart Association. So you can do that program, walk at home. It's not necessary that you walk outside, so that you don't feel scared of having fallen down, right? American Heart Association 3-mile walk, yes. So, okay, but when you're walking at home, walking outside, see to it that you wear proper good shoes, good walking shoes. Secondly, there is a tutorial on YouTube on exactly how you should walk. The posture, your body should be a little ahead. Your legs should be pointing one after the other. So they should not be like this, like a duck, So all these things are told in that tutorial, how to walk. So if you see that tutorial on YouTube, how to walk, then you will understand what mistakes you're making, and then you can start walking accordingly. So I think now, if in the middle we take some questions, then it'll be more like interactive and it'll be more fun. So if Anita can read out the questions, if there are any in the chat box, or if anybody can raise their hands.
So far, nobody has asked a question, but can I ask a question? If
Yes,
I'm not
yes.
eating non-veg,
Yeah.
would egg help?
Yes.
Like B12,
yes.
you said? Yeah.
Yes, eggs do have vitamin B12 also. So eggs also help. Eggs also are a good source of a small amount of D3 also.
Okay.
And if you're eating 1 to 2 eggs, then the yellow of the egg is also permissible.
Okay.
More than 2 eggs at a time, then the yellow, then 2 eggs ka yellow is allowed. The third egg, after that, you have to discard the white, the yellow. But after 60, it's always advisable not to eat more than 2 eggs at a time.
But tell me, why not eat the yellow? What is wrong with the yellow?
You must eat the yellow. If 2 eggs yellow, you must eat.
Okay. Okay.
In fact, the yellow is there in the this because for this reason itself, that proteins themselves cannot be digested. They need fats to digest.
I see.
So
okay.
God has put the yolk over there for that same reason. So we do need fats along with proteins.
Okay, Mr. Shankar Punjabi, would you like? He's raised his hand. Would you like to ask a question? Please unmute yourself and ask. Mr.
Yes,
Punjabi. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. I'm here. Madam, you said we had to. I was a mixed non-vegetarian and vegetarian. Then, due to religious concern, I have become a pure vegetarian from the last 14 years. You said we have to. I am 70 years old. Okay. And I am inching towards pre-diabetic. My wife also is a doctor. She says my HbA1c is 6.6. So what kind of non-veg diet, egg or small quantity of chicken should I be taking it to keep myself more fit?
Yeah. So at least if you can do, say, we'll talk in grams. So if you can understand, you can have 50 grams of chicken. Means if you buy pav kilo chicken, you divide it into 5 days.
Okay.
And you can have a small portion along with vegetables. Or also, if you want to stay a vegetarian, then if you make, let's say 1 chapati, you take your size chapati, whichever it is, you make pieces of that. So, I put it in a vati. So, you know exactly how much it is. Then 4 times of that, your vegetable and dal should be. If you eat...
Sorry to interrupt. I heard that you are saying 4 times that. That will be very difficult to take. Like we are not used to it. What we are taking dal is generally just about 2 times 1 chapati and then 1 katora and 2 chapatis or 3 chapatis. That's all.
Exactly. So you need to reduce your quantity of chapatis.
Yeah.
Or if you want to then shift, you can have 1 egg for breakfast. Then you can have 1 egg all throughout the week for breakfast. You can have there is Ensure anti-diabetic protein powder. Even Protein X comes without sugar. So you can have that 1 glass with milk at breakfast. And in lunch and dinner, in lunch, you can have this vegetable and dal 4 times. And in dinner, you can have 100 grams of chicken.
But how many days? Again, there are some religious concerns like Friday, we are not supposed to eat. Monday, we are not supposed to eat. Just eating 3 days, small portion will be enough?
No, see, every day you must eat your protein. So then you make 4:1, no, with your vegetarian.
Okay.
Then on those days, you make 4:1. Like if you're eating a bajra roti, 1 roti and 4 times the amount of, say, palak vegetable or whichever vegetable you're making along with it.
Okay. The other days I can substitute it with chicken.
Yes,
or
chicken and eggs. Yes. Or fish also, if you like.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Thank you.
One person has asked in the chat box if 1 egg per day is enough. Yes, 1 egg per day is also enough.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes.
Madam.
Yes.
You are saying that we have to take protein.
Hmm.
But if you will take more protein, creatine will increase for the elders.
Not always. See, it's not like that. It's not that proteins increase creatine. See, proteins themselves are harmless. If we cannot digest the proteins, then our creatinine will rise. Not creatinine, also uric acid will rise.
Yes.
Okay. But if you are able to digest it, then nothing wrong. So what I said, see, suppose you don't want to change, you want to remain vegetarian also, it's okay. But only increase the amount of vegetables and dals that you're eating and reduce the amount of chapatis. Then the vegetarian proteins are easily digested by the body also. So you'll not have the uric acid problem. Then slowly, if you want, you can add some non-vegetarian to it also.
We are, see, whenever we are taking some, see, nuts, dry fruits and nuts, doctor says to taste, you can take each dry fruit or nuts, 5 to 10 pieces, this badam and all. Listen to me. Some for dry fruits, we can take it some quantity, and also vegetables. But what is happening when the age is increasing, digestible capacity will automatically reduce.
Yes.
That's a fact for anybody. Not for me.
Yes.
Yeah. See, the above 70 years, digestion will start slowly. Intestinal problems or whatever it may be, digestion capacity will be reduced. In that condition, if you take more protein or more carbohydrate, creatine is increasing. That I have seen practically also. And to reduce creatine, again, I have to go back, but the less vegetable, more vegetables. For example, I take only a medium-sized chapatis, 2 chapatis with some vegetables. And also now and then I will take this. I have observed that when protein was taken in this age, I am now 73, and automatically creatine is increased. To control again creatine, I am coming back to this. So,
but you're diabetic? You're diabetic?
Yes, I am a diabetic. Another thing is this age factor and walking. See, I am also a walker. But the internal walking and yoga, what you exercise is okay. But you are saying at the age of 73 or 75, 1 hour exercise of walking is not at all a easy thing for the aged people. And we are addicted to American society, whatever society, there are different views from different doctors or different nutritionists. I'm a scientist also. See, see, in that condition, what will happen? The knees will be, we will have the problem of knee joints pain.
But that's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say, that the American Heart Association walking, I've told only one walking. The other 3 programs which I told you, Jane Fonda, Caroline Jordan, and O'Connell, they do not include walking in their exercise. It's called as interval-based exercise. It is exercise for the shoulder joints, for the buttocks, for the calves, without walking.
Sir, madam, for example, in the morning, I will take breathing exercise, some stretching exercises. What you have told is a wriggling exercise and a stretching, all these things, at least 20 minutes or 30 minutes. In this age, is it sufficient? I have to stick on to the 1 hour of American society. American society is not a believable for all the things.
No, you don't need to walk. See, it is called as the American Heart Association exercise program. I'm not saying that you need to believe in it. It is that she does the walk.
Okay.
So when she's doing the walk, it's nice to do the walk with somebody, or you can walk on your own also. You can put on some music and walk on your own also. Just see her steps once, so you know what exactly you need to do while walking. Now, that's what I'm trying to prove to many people, myself also. I have, like you're saying, you're a scientist. I'm working on this also, that by not even walking, but doing all these programs, you can lose weight and you can remain fitter than what you were only by walking.
So, see, there are some genetic problems in this regard also. The weight is by not eating, getting weight. See, by genetic also, some person will be having the weight. For example, I am holding up a body weight since 20 years, but I am still very, very active. And I am a senior region president for entire Hyderabad, doing activities every day. See, keeping our mind active and peaceful, that fetches more than what all others will do. This is the research what we found with the. By talking with every day, 4 persons with every day, keeping healthy, all this laughing, just like you are laughing, that gives us so much strength than the walking. See,
No, I
that
agree
stress-
with you that a healthy mind is also very important. What you're saying is perfectly correct, that a healthy mind is also very important. An active mind also plays a very important
Yes,
role in
yes.
keeping us healthy. It is not just the body, but once the body starts remaining active, the mind also gets stimulated, I think, because then it gets attracted to things that stimulate your mind also. Today the topic was we are doing health, exercise and food. So I did not take much about the health of the body, of the mind, but I do believe that learning some shlokas or teaching children something, say English or something like that, keeps your mind very active and supple all the time, and you feel that you're doing something in spite of being retired.
So we should not be lazy. What my personal feeling is, we should not
True.
be lazy in the
True.
day. See,
Yes.
since morning to evening, you should have
Yes.
some exercise or some talking to your friends or keeping mind. In addition
Yes.
to all these nutrition habits, the
Certainly,
nutrition
I agree
depend-
with you. Yes, certainly.
Thank you
Yes.
very much, baby. This is the
Yes.
feedback I want to take is only to teach to others, not to have it. The
Yes,
American Society
certainly, I
of-
agree.
And one thing I want to say, this Indian diabetic doctor saying that
Yes.
7.6, 6.5 to 7 is a diabetic. Just listen to me. And
Yeah.
previously, they used to have the 7 to 8% moderate and 8 and above poor knowledge, all these things. But the same American Society of Diabetology person says up to 8% there is no sugar. And recently I have seen an article that fasting sugar it should not cross 170 to 180 for any person. If it is crosses, then only diabetic. But our doctors are saying if we will come to the 110 diabetic and 140, this magic of figures.
No, I'll tell you the
confusing
reason.
also.
No, I'll tell you the reason. I'll tell you the reason. If you see an average American's lifestyle, and if you see an average Indian's lifestyle,
Yes.
let me tell you today, because I've been to America, I have many American friends, not Indians who are Americans. I'm talking about Americans, okay?
Yes.
They are, I will tell you, 100% more active than people in India today. I, on my fingertips, I can count people who are totally healthy today, who have no diabetes, no blood pressure in my circle. So because of our lifestyle, we have to bring down the level of the sugar.
Yes.
If you have an active lifestyle, if you are completely active, then you can deal with a higher sugar, you can deal with a higher cholesterol, but you have to be very, very active. Because when we were young and when I was studying, sir, it was like that 250 cholesterol was considered as normal.
Yes.
In my books, it's written 250 normal, but today we consider 150 because at that time people were more active than they are today. Today, see, like I said, pregnant, I'm doing this parenting project in which the pregnant women have to be given Ecosprin.
Yes.
I've never heard. I had to call my gynecologist friend and ask her, why is all this? She said, Niyati, everybody's so sedentary. Even when I was pregnant, my mother would encourage me, take that jhadu, sit down and take out the kachra. They would not say that sleep and lie and take rest. Right?
So, madam, this hit and try methods are more nowadays. Hit and try methods you can understand. Even in Corona also, there is no protocol, and what doctors has done, whatever they like it to give the steroids and all these things. Like
see, I'll tell you one thing. When Corona struck us, all doctors were confused. They don't know how to treat it.
Yes,
okay?
yes. What I want.
Yeah, but what I think is, if your life is saved, then you can do anything. Sar salamat to pagdi 50. Right? So whatever way your life is saved, you can detoxify your body. You can come back to normal. You can do a lot of things. Why did we basically suffer from? I did not suffer from Corona.
Yes.
So I took care of myself that I will not suffer from Corona. So the first thing is the person who has suffered from Corona it is the person's fault. First of all, why did you allow your body to become so weak that you suffer from corona? So before pointing out at the doctor, I think we need to point out at ourselves that what mistake did I do with my body? Right?
Madam, we know, for example, one thing I want to tell, because topic is deviating, I will cut short the things. We are having more immunity. The elders are having more immunity because of our habit compared to the youngsters. And also the foreign countries, people are having less immunity. They suffered more than the Indians. Even when everybody is talking that the elders should take care more for corona or anything, we have educated them through webinars. So first of all, you be courageous. We are having more immunity. The browns are having more immunity than the whites because they don't take all these things. More care, more dangerous also what we observed. So Americans takes more care, too much care, and they are suffering. So with all these words, with your good answers, I am very thankful, madam. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Doctor, good evening.
Yes.
See, I am 70 years. I have a chronic sinusitis.
Okay.
Sinusitis, no. This post-nasal
Drip.
drip, telling it is there since 3 years. I tried allopathy medicine, this steroid sprays and all these things. Only temporary relief, nothing. Then I tried Ayurvedic also, some kasaya and all these things. But it doesn't get any relief, doctor. Can you suggest what is?
Yeah, I'll tell you a few things. Yoga has got very good remedies in the sense Jalaneti.
Okay.
Have you tried Jalan? Yeah. Jalaneti is very important, that a saline solution, the solution of the Jalaneti has to be as salty as our tears.
Okay. Okay.
As you know, our tears are saltier than the other discharges from the body. So it has to be as salty as our tears. It's not necessary that you have a Jalaneti pot to put the water inside. You can even drink the water with your hand and it falls out from the other nostril, or it falls down from the same nostril.
Okay.
This cleanses up the whole nasal passage and it helps to stop the post-nasal drip occurs because we have sinuses here in the middle of our body, in the cranium, in the center.
Okay.
Over there is a lot of cough. Many a times because we sweat on our head, that cough gets collected here. So after doing Jalaneti, you have to take cloth and heat it on the tawa and take fermentation properly.
Okay. Hot water.
Yeah, hot cloth on the tawa, you heat it and you take dry fermentation.
Okay.
And Suntha and Vekhanda, you will get in the grain shop. Suntha, to that is dry ginger.
Okay.
And Vekhanda is another stick. Now, I don't know the other colloquial. In Marathi, it is called as Vekhanda. In Hindi, it is called as Vacha. Vacha.
Vacha, okay.
Vacha. And in Gujarati, it is called as Ghoda Vaj. Vaj.
Okay.
Vaj. Okay. These three languages, I know what it is called. So it is also a stick. So what you do, we have that rubbing stone, no? On that, you must take out one Suntha ka lep and Vekhanda ka lep and apply it all around here like this and behind the ears nicely.
Okay.
At night, every night.
Okay, okay.
This will help you to get, but you must do it consistently for at least 2 to 3 months.
Okay.
Yeah, every day you get up, you must do Jalaneti, take that shake, and then only you must have your cup of tea.
Okay.
One thing. Every day at bedtime, before going to sleep, you must make that Suntha and Vekhanda ka lep and apply it nicely.
This, you are telling, this nose blockage. No, that doesn't happen. Only thing is you have a desire to push like this, no? Whatever collected here. The nose.
Yes.
Maxillary sinusitis, they tell.
Yes.
So,
yes.
so your nose
this
gets.
Will help you. Yeah, this will help you. Now, along with that, there is an Ayurvedic kashai called as Amruta Rishta.
Amruta Rishta, okay.
Amruta Rishta, 2 teaspoonfuls.
Okay.
And 4 teaspoons of water.
Okay, Amruta Rishta.
Yes.
Okay.
You take 3 times in a day.
Where is available, doctor? Amruta Rishta?
Easily available, everywhere, easily available.
Amruta Rishta. I'm using, see, you told about the salt neti spot, no? I'm using this nasal spray, which is coming salt water. So in
I
the
know,
market.
but
That also
with Jalaneti, it will be much better. You see,
Jalnidhi, how to prepare Jalnidhi?
that is the saline water, hot water, warm water. With
Hmm.
you put one nice teaspoon of salt. Then you
Okay.
shake
Okay.
it. Then you taste it. It
Okay.
has to be salt, as much salty or saltier than your tears.
Okay.
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 And then you drink it from one nostril, it will come out from there, or it will come out from the other nostril. Let it come out whichever way. So you
Okay.
drink 10 times from one nostril, 10 times from other nostril.
Just push. We have to breathe out. Breathe.
No,
in.
you put in your hand and drink with your nose. Like
Okay.
that.
Okay. Okay.
Like,
Okay. Okay. Okay.
huh.
Just salt. Any Himalayan salt is rock salt.
No. The iodized salt.
Iodized salt with hot water.
Yes.
Hot water is RO water.
Hot, but warm water, not very hot water.
Warm water. RO
Warm
water.
water. RO water, any water. Yeah,
Okay.
RO water. is- Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
That action. Okay, doctor. I think you are told about that one rice ginger and other stick name. You are told what is the stick?
Vekhanda.
Vekhanda. Okay, Vekhanda. Okay.
Vekhanda, Vacha,
Fine.
or
Okay.
Vaj.
Oh, okay. Thank you, doctor. Thank you. Fine.
Okay, we have one question here in the chat box. How to reduce HbA1c levels?
HbA1c. Yeah, HbA1c is the proper level of how much your blood sugar is increased, you know. So it is like that to reduce the HbA1c, you must go on a proper diet. Like I said, a high protein diet, have proteins in the milk, and exercise a lot. Once you start doing that, HbA1c levels start coming to normal.
Okay, the next question is from Mr. Kundapur. For roasted nuts, almond, walnuts, peanuts, any daily limits?
Yes, two. See, if you're having all the nuts, then 2 almonds, 2 walnuts, 2 cashew nuts, 2 peanuts is two of each.
Okay, two of each of these nuts. And what about
Yeah.
the sweet? What about the
And the sweets, you can, if you're not having sugar, then you can have anjeer, khajur, you can have sultanas, that is bedane, you can have
raisins?
all
Yeah.
those.
Okay. So 2 of each. Okay. I think this is Deepa. What should be the diet plan for vegetarian from morning to night? Amount of all the things: water, dry fruits, sweets, junk food. She's also asking what is the ideal food on fasting day?
Fasting is not correct. On all the sabudana and all those foods are very high carbohydrates, so that is all out. Breakfast may no pohe, no upma, no bread and butter, no khakras, no chapati and tea. All these things are no. So you can have dal dosas, you can make parathas with boiled dal inside it, churn and make parathas. You can make thali peet. You can make vegetable sandwiches. You can eat eggs for breakfast along with a glass of protein powder dal ke milk. In lunch and dinner, if you are a vegetarian, then 1 part of carbohydrate equivalent to 4 parts with dal and vegetable. Same thing in dinner. If you're a non-vegetarian, then 100 to 200 grams of chicken with stir-fry vegetables could be your meal both times.
Okay, I think Mr. Bhagwandas, you want to ask a question? You raised your hand. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah.
Madam, I had a spine fracture almost some time back. Now it's seemed to have sort of bonus joint, but I still have a pain. Whenever I sit for a long time, I move around a little. I can't walk much. Hardly 100 yards, 200 yards, I get pain. This pain, how do I reduce that and how do I give up? I've gone through, I've taken Ayurvedic, I've taken allopathic, I've taken everything else. You
Okay, but
name
the
it, I've
spine,
taken. Spine has healed, but point is
totally healed. Okay.
that's what they say. But then, the gap is still there. They say it may take some time, but it has healed.
Yeah. Okay. So you know what? Now what you need to do is that the spine, next to the spine, there are muscles called as erector spinae muscles. Because of your injury, those erector spinae muscles have become a little bit tight, you know. So what you need to do is, you know, that cat-cow pose, Marjarasana, which we say cat-cow pose in yoga. That cat-cow pose, if you do every day, do little warm-up in your body and then do the cat-cow pose every day, one thing, then you must take good amount, you must be taking calcium, I'm sure about it. Along with that, you can take Ayurvedic, any medicine, it is called as Gugul Kalpa. So you can take Simhanada Gugul. Simhanada Gugul. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead. We can hear you.
Yeah. Yeah.
We can
So
hear.
Simhanada Gugul, you can take one pill twice in a day, bite the pill and then swallow it with a little bit of warm water. Twice in a day, you take Simhanada Gugul tablet.
Okay. There's another question here.
This
Yeah,
pain,
sorry.
it is not going now, doctor. What to do?
That I said, when you do that
When-
cat-cow pose, a cat-cow pose every day,
But
with that,
that,
muscles
though-
will become.
though the spine has healed, that bend is still there. That bend can be
Yes.
straightened.
Yeah, so with when the muscles around the spine will become supple, your pain will also reduce.
Okay, doctor. This, again, Shivanada Google. That's what.
Simhanada Gugul, yes. Simhanada
Okay.
Gugul, yes, yes.
Okay, thank you, doctor.
Okay. This person asking, please let me know today's cough and cold problem which is occurring. Please, medicine also. Yeah, what to do with the
Yeah,
cough,
means you know
cold
what,
problem.
today there is so much dust in Mumbai also that many people are suffering from cold and cough. So like preventive, like I said, Jalaneti and application of that Suntha and Vekhanda, it will certainly help. But along with that, there are many other medicines also that are available. If you have a lot of cold and cough, then one has to take medicines quite regularly. But try with Jalaneti and Suntha Vekhanda. I think it should help.
Madam,
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
one clarification. This sinus you have told me is some treatment. In addition to that, I want to know this, how vapor will work out on the sinus. And another thing, another thing, Jinda Tilismat in the water and taking vapor, people will say that it will reduce cold and cough and also sinus. Is it a fact or not?
No. See, what happens is vapor is water only. No, it is.
Yes.
Once it condenses, it goes inside, it becomes water. It cools down, becomes water.
No, salt water.
Any vapor that you take will go inside and remain as water and increase the sinus if you take vapor. That is why I've told you to take dry fermentation of kapda. You must heat kapda on the tawa and take dry fermentation.
Okay.
Not vapor at all.
What about Jinda Tilismat?
No, that doesn't help so much. No.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay, we have one question in the chat box.
Yeah.
Which vegetable juice is good for diabetes?
Yeah, actually no juice. Ayurveda says you should not have vegetable juice at all. You eat vegetables. Na? Like I said, 4 times vegetables is good enough for you.
Okay, next question is, I have been suffering from constipation. Any remedy?
Yeah, very nice question. Actually, I read it that time. I was waiting that now the question should come because I missed out. Most of the people after 60 and plus 70 plus, they do have constipation. And that is the common question that comes to mind, you know. And I had done a program on the radio, especially for people, elderly people, to how to combat constipation. So let me tell you one thing, that in the elderly, it's not that the mull is not formed. There is a lot of mull in the stomach, but the peristalsis starts going very dull and slow. Also, because of the increased vayu due to the age, that mull that is formed becomes dry faster than normal. So to avoid the mull getting drier, we usually advise taking milk and ghee at bedtime. You can also take water and ghee. If you don't like milk and ghee, you can take water and ghee. This does not increase the cholesterol. It goes into the intestines and it sort of starts lubricating the intestine. 1 month, if you take milk and ghee, then you're quite sorted. Then the whole life, I don't think usually we don't need to take. but it's very important that you keep the intestines lubricated. And don't take any dry laxatives like Kayam Churan or any Churan that says it has got Sonamukhi inside it. Sonamukhi or Sena, we say SENNA or Sonamukhi, is a it dries the intestines even more. So instead of taking Kayam Churan, you should take laxatives that have like harade powder that is roasted in castor oil. That is good enough. So it has to have some sneha inside it.
Okay. Any more questions, or would you like to continue talking? Actually, I wanted to ask you, what is irritable bowel syndrome and what does one do about it? Yeah.
Okay. I'll tell you something, that irritable bowel syndrome is irritation in the small intestines. Now, our small intestines are the place where the food comes from the stomach, then it has to remain over there for some time so that it gets assimilated inside our body. Okay. Now, for that assimilation to occur, it has to wait in the small intestine for some time. But if there is, the bowel is irritated, means if there is some swelling over there, then the food goes ahead. It doesn't stay there for some time. It doesn't stay there for some time. It just goes on ahead. So then when you pass the stools, many a times the food comes just as it is, or sometimes you have diarrhea, sometimes you have sometimes you have proper motions, sometimes again you have loose motions, again you have normal motions. So that is called as irritable bowel syndrome. In Ayurveda, we call it sangrahani, means grahani, that is the small intestine, the first part, the duodenum, jejunum, becomes swollen. So it is also a brethren of hyperacidity. When a person has acidity in the stomach, then IBS is curable. But somebody is asking if IBS is curable. So it is curable. We have to reduce the acidity from the stomach and we have to reduce the acidity in the small intestine. But again, see, above 60, if many people are diabetic, then there is something called as a diabetic diarrhea. Many times diabetic diarrhea is confused with IBS. So be careful, be warned that a diabetic diarrhea is something different and IBS is something different. So if you're having diabetic diarrhea and then you feel that it is IBS, it is wrong. If you're a diabetic, then you need to check the, what are your symptoms? Your symptoms might be like IBS, but they have to be treated quite differently.
I see. So what do you do if you have irritable bowel syndrome?
So you need to take, now Ayurveda has a better solution because Ayurveda has antacids and it also has medicines which pep up the liver to form a good type of pitta. If the pitta is more liquid, more fluid in it, then its digestion capacity starts reducing. So what happens is that we need to pep up the liver also. So medicines like Liv 52, Kumari Asav, Arogya Vardhini, these pills are good for the liver. Then there is one, so these Arogya Vardhini, Kumari Asav are kadhas, which are Granthokta. They have been told in our texts that if you take them, then your liver gets very strong and the pitta that is formed in the liver comes of the right chemical composition so that it's able to digest the food. Along with that, we have, antacids like we used to take that Sud Shekhar Matra when we were children. So like that Sud Shekhar. But all these medicines for IBS, I usually advise it's better to see an Ayurvedacharya. Let them see your pulse so they know what your Prakriti is. Then they come to know what is the Prakriti of the disease. So rather than self-medicating, in IBS, it's always better to consult a doctor.
Okay. And what about acidity? How do you keep that under control?
Yeah. See, acidity in anybody's body is like this. This is the graph, up and down and up and down and up and down, depending on how you eat and how you sleep and how much stress you take. So it's very important that we keep our stress levels low. We eat the right amount of food. Overeating also causes acidity. Then the change in weather also could cause acidity. So it's nice if a person can digest milk products are antacids by themselves, So a glass of cold milk does help in keeping the acid low and keeping your health okay. Now, if you're not good, you don't like to drink milk, or you don't, milk doesn't suit you. There are many people whom milk doesn't suit. Then I advise limbu sarbat, but with very less amount of sugar, can be had once in the evening. So that also helps in digesting the acidity. Okay.
Okay. Are there any
Hello,
other
doctor.
questions?
Pardon?
Any other
Hello,
questions?
doctor. Is Dalia good for, has low GI?
Dalia?
Dalia has low GI. Can diabetes people can have it?
No, that is also because the carbohydrate only. It has to be 1/4 only. Dalia is made out of wheat only. No?
Yes.
Okay. Any other
What is the
questions?
good carbohydrate that diabetes people
I
can
have a
have?
question, please.
Please wait. Please wait.
No, it is, you have to have it 1/4 only. Like I said, 4 times you put vegetable and dal in it, and you have dalia is okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I have a question, please.
Please go
Yes.
ahead.
Question, comment. Hello.
Please
Yes.
go
Can I
ahead.
talk? Huh? You talked about the salt in for Jalaniti, and you said it should be as salty as maybe your tear. But when a person is hypertensive, is it advisable to do it?
Yeah, because it doesn't get swallowed so much. It all comes down from the nose back out again.
No, but your membranes also absorb some of it.
No. Salt,
Hmm?
see, the action of salt is like that if it is, according to Ayurveda, lavan, that means all salts, are shothar when taken from outside and shothakar when they are taken inside. Means when they are taken inside, they cause swelling in the body. But when you do bahya prayog, Jalaniti is a bahya prayog, like we gargle. How we gargle with salt water, it's the same thing.
Another question is that after a certain age, it's very difficult to exercise because you don't seem to have either the inclination or, the kind of energy, because you're doing other things. Like for instance, if you're running your home and you're a single person, and a senior citizen, then you're doing a lot of things.
Yes.
So you don't seem to have time to exercise.
Yes. Then you can equate that work to, say, suppose you're doing 2 hours of work in the house, you can equate that to half an hour of exercise. Then at that time, you can do, okay, you're going to have chair yoga. So even yoga, like I told you, the balancing exercises by Jane Fonda, she tells you, the elderly, that you can do 15 minutes of exercise also, but to do your balance, it is a different kind of exercise there.
Where do we get all this information?
It's all on YouTube. I've told, and they put it in the chat box. The YouTube channel of Jane Fonda is very famous and it is very good.
And
what
in any
having
case,
a session then on combining exercise and the other questions that have been raised?
No, like you said, exercise, I said, no, when you do 2 hours of housework, if you're doing active housework, you can equate it to half an hour of exercise.
Please mute yourselves, everybody, unless you're asking a question. Madam, have you finished?
I have a question.
Please go
Many
ahead.
times in Ayurveda, doctors prescribe, oils to be taken or drunk. So is it safe to do that?
No. Oil has to be drunk, or ghee has to be drunk if you're doing panchakarma only. That is in Vaman, Virechan, and in Rakta Mokshan. But in Basti, Nasya, you don't have to drink oil like that. It's not advisable.
It's not
After
advisable.
this IPT,
ITP,
And for this constipation, like I have been advised one oil known as Gandhar Vastha Telam.
No need. You can take Gandharva Haritaki. Gandharva Tela is nothing but castor oil.
Okay.
So you can take, I told you that harde, that is already, usko harde ko bhunte hai erandi ke tel mein, and then they powder that harde. So you can take that. It's called as Gandharva Haritaki powder.
Gandharva
Haritaki.
Haritaki
Yeah.
powder. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
What happens to
Can you
Isopro?
tell me something about ITP, doctor?
That is idiopathic thrombocytopenic purpura.
Low platelets for my
Yes,
grandson.
low platelets. And then what happens if you get pinched or something, you get all black, blue and all, you know, because your bleeding time and clotting time starts reducing. That is why that the thrombocytopenic purpura is there. It is common in the elderly, but it is not as, it doesn't cause any problems. So you
No,
don't.
it is not elderly. My grandson is only about 6 years.
4 years.
Oh,
4
then
years.
then they need to, then you need to consult a hematologist.
That's what, how bad or good it is. How
No, the
recovery time.
hematologist will check up and tell you the exact condition.
So that's why the platelets, in fact, count, it's getting lower instead of increasing. So he has given some medicine. So Ayurveda has anything to do with this?
No, Ayurveda doesn't have any medicine for thrombocytopenic purpura.
Okay. That's what I just want to clarify. Thank you.
Hello.
What about Isopro?
Hello. 1 minute, please. 1 minute, please. There's a question in the chat box, then you can ask a question. After removing gallbladder, still acidity problem not end. So what do you do for acidity? Is it related to diabetes?
It's not related to diabetes. It's actually the liver. See, gallbladder is removed, but acidity is related to the liver. Why the gallbladder was removed? Because the fat in the body was not getting digested by the pitta, and so it was getting collected in the form of gallstones in the gallbladder. So the gallbladder is removed. That means already the chemistry of your pitta is wrong. So you need to change the chemistry of the pitta. So there are, like I said, medicines like Kumari Asav or Arogya Vardhini. But I advise, instead of taking like that off the counter, it's better you consult your Ayurvedic physician and then take the medicine.
Okay. Who wanted to ask
I have a question.
Yes, please go ahead.
See, I am a sciatic patient, but doing exercise and all, I am normal. But when I started registering for some yoga, as doing some Surya Namaskar and all, again it started. It is not advisable to do that, is it?
No, see, if it has started, that means you have done something wrong. Especially that in that back bending, no, you should not take your knee beyond your toes. Your knee should be inside your toes. Many times they tell you to take your knee in the front. Then what happens? The back, the tendon, no, in the hamstrings, it gets pulled a lot. So you must see to it that you do your Surya Namaskar properly, because all the Surya Namaskar are very good for sciatica. Actually, Bhujangasana, then the back bending and all are very good for sciatica. So maybe you did some step wrong, and even that pulled that hamstring, because of which that sciatica must be paining.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Vasant Kumar, would you like to ask a question? You raised your hand. Okay. There's a question in the chat box. What is an ideal Ayurvedic Dincharya?
Ideal Ayurvedic Dinacharya is waking up in the morning at least 45 minutes before sunrise, ideally 1.5 hours before sunrise. So at 4:30 or 5 is the ideal time to rise. After rising, it is important that after you brush your teeth, you go to the toilet. That is, clear. Number 2, your stomach should be cleared. Urine though okay, but your stomach should also be cleared. Then you should exercise your body nicely. After exercising, at least twice or thrice in a week, it's good to do a proper massage before having a bath. After you have your bath, then you have your breakfast. After your breakfast, then you start your whatever your profession is, and it's advisable to eat food latest by 7:30 and sleep at least 2 to 3 hours after eating your meal. Ideal time to sleep is at 10:30 in the night, so that you wake up in the morning at 5.
That sounds difficult rather than easy, especially waking up that early. Do you do that yourself, doctor?
I do it. Yeah.
Wow, wonderful.
I've been doing it since so many years because after going for Ayurveda, when I realized that Brahma Muhurta is very important for the circulation of calcium and iron in the body. So my biological clock starts at 4:30 in the morning.
So it's very important to wake up early, is it?
Yeah. And once you start sleeping early, now you see by 10:30, if you go to sleep, automatically you wake up in the morning.
Okay. We have one more question. Can diabetics eat dry fruits like badam, walnuts, and pista?
Yes, you can. You can.
Okay. Did anybody else want to ask a question? Anybody? Last question.
Madam, one clarification about
Yes.
constipation. You have recommended milk and ghee.
Yeah.
Is there any difference of buffalo and cow milk, or ghee also buffalo and cow milk? And
Buffalo
what is the
milk.
rate?
Yeah, buffalo milk.
No, how much quantity of the milk and what are the how many drops of ghee we have to? Please kindly clarify it.
Not drops. You have to take one large teaspoon of ghee along with
Okay.
1 cup of hot milk.
Okay. Thank you.
I advise the buffalo milk because buffalo milk, the fat in the milk is good and helps in keeping the intestines supple and soft.
Okay, that's because this recommendation we should know it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Deepa is asking which oil is good for massage. So any oil, whichever you like, I usually say coconut oil because it's easy to remove after a massage.
Yes, yes.
Doctor, I have got a question in continuation what I said about sinusitis.
Yeah.
This some Ayurvedic medicines, doctors, they suggest Nasya. Is it good, Doctor, Nasya?
No, Nasya is good, but if you do Jalaneti, it will help better.
Okay.
Then we can see about Nasya. But before you do Nasya, it's better to do Jalaneti.
Jalaneti. Okay, fine. Good, Doctor. Thank you.
Okay, any more questions? Okay, any last words, doctor? Anything you'd
I
like
think
to
it
add?
was a very interactive session and I love the questions. Especially, I would like to thank the person who asked the question about constipation because that was one topic that the elderly suffer from and I had missed out when I talked. So thanks a lot. Very nice questions and very interactive session, no interruptions. So it's very nice.
Okay. Sure, no questions. So can we wrap this up? Anybody?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So we have 1 minute. I'll just put the feedback form and then we can wrap this up. Just 1 minute.
Where you can be contacted, doctor?
I think
What you need to do is you get in touch with us.
Right.
Okay, there is one question here. I take
Yeah.
lunch between 10 and 11 and dinner between 7 and 8 p.m. I do not take breakfast. Is it okay?
it's okay if you're not very physically active and you don't feel hungry. See, breakfast doesn't have to be a lavish meal. You can have one fruit, a glass of milk can also be your breakfast, no? You can have a light breakfast. It's not necessary. Even 2 cups of coffee you have, and if you're not diabetic, you have a biscuit or something like that. It's okay. It's not necessary that you have to have a big lavish breakfast. Like a person like me, I exercise a lot in the morning and I need my high protein breakfast. Then I need those 2 chilas of protein. Then you can have it, you know, but otherwise it's okay.
And you can get in touch with us also if you want to get speak further to Dr. Chitalia.
Yeah.
You can contact us on our number. I just put the number up. 1 minute.
Yeah.
Hello, doctor.
Please go ahead.
Yes.
Please
Hello?
go ahead.
What is the best
Yes.
medicine for diabetes in Ayurveda?
See, there is no one medicine like that in Ayurveda. For many people say that you take this pill, take it for 10 days, then it will be fine. It's not like that. Diabetes, according to Ayurveda, is a combination of your organs, your liver, your kidney not working properly.
Uh-huh.
So according to Ayurveda, there is a big combination of drugs which we give. We give liver tonics, we give kidney protectives, and we give medicines which help you to reduce your resistance to insulin.
Okay.
Today, the type 2 diabetes is because of excess insulin and we are resistant to it. So we give medicines to reduce your resistance to diabetes also.
Okay, are there any more questions? No, there's this, okay. Mr. Patil, I take lunch between 10 and 11 and dinner between 8 and, is it okay not to take breakfast? Did you answer that question? I'm sorry.
Yeah, they can take it,
Okay, so then I'll wrap this up.
Yes.
There's this, you can click on this feedback form or you can WhatsApp us if you'd like to get in touch with this doctor. Secondly, if anybody is interested in online volunteering, if they're interested in jobs, also you can WhatsApp us on this number. Our forthcoming events in webinar is one is on chair yoga. It's a live demonstration. So those of you who find it difficult can join this session. We are also having one session on pulmonary diseases and one session on financial issues faced by senior citizens. So that is what we are going to have in March, and we'll continue with our weekly webinars. Meanwhile, thank you so much, Doctor.
Yes,
And thank you all participants also.
Yes.
And thank you from Vaya Vikas. Okay, thank you so much. Please WhatsApp us if you need anything. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.